morning. This is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking, and Usora Express decided to do a live stream today with questions and answers. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them here. I will also look at the channel and at the comments and try to answer some of those questions because I don't have that much time or opportunity to answer all of them. So we'll try to go through all of them right now. And then in the meantime as well, you can also ask the questions here in the chat. I'll start with the comments on the YouTube channel, and then also, hello, I'm good, how are you? And I will also go to my email because I do get a lot of questions in email. Sometimes I don't answer those questions. And there is this one question that I have been asked a lot lately about the new owner operators and working with them. So I'll start with that question first. Hello, Yahya. And then the first I think it's the second word is Gaira. So I don't know if it's Hitesh or Hitesh Gaira, but I'm trying to read the names as best as I can. Hey, and then there's another name. How do you pronounce the name? I don't want to say Zake Production. But anyway, sorry, I'm trying. Anyway, the first question that I was asked a lot lately is about a dispatcher with brand new owner operators. How can they help those new owner operators because there are no loads out there for them? No one wants to work with them. How do you as a dispatcher help them? So there is really the question is, the answer is very simple. It's when we don't take anyone right now for dispatching, like if you have your own authority, because we used to do that. If you have your own authority as an owner operator, we were able to dispatch you, but right now we're concentrating on our authority here. But we just stopped taking anyone that's brand new, unfortunately, because it was just a struggle for everyone, for the owner operator and for us, because they only wanted the TQL and CH Robinson only wants to work with them. So if they're okay with that, if you have a new owner operator as a dispatcher, if they're okay with working with TQL only and CH Robinson in the beginning, if they're aware of that fact and you tell them that that's what's going to happen, then yeah, I mean, but don't stress out because no one else wants to work with them. It's not your fault. You can't change that. They just have to wait until their authority is older, and there is nothing else you can do. So it's either or. As a brand new owner operator, if you're working off of load boards, you have to be aware of the fact that only 2 brokers, maybe a couple more occasionally will work with you, but that's it, and you can't stress about it, right? Hello, Upper Story Hitman. Uzemil, hello. Bro, can we dispatch with 6 to 7 free load boards? No. Like most loads are on DAT load board, and because we have access to 20 to 30 broker load boards, right? And we only use that in certain instances, like when DAT load board is down, or when we see a posting on DAT load board, or we can't get a hold of the broker. Only in certain situations. But if you are using a free load board, they will have only so many loads, and you're not gonna be able to work to your full. Not capacity, like possibility. I guess that's the word. It's not gonna work. You can occasionally do it if you have to, but to work full time, especially if you have multiple trucks, it's just it's not gonna work. If the markets are okay, if the rates are okay, we have loads out there, then maybe it could work to a certain extent. But even then, it would be hard, especially right now with the bad markets. It's just not gonna work. Let me just check here. I have some comments here. What requirement I need to be my own dispatcher remote? Uh, if you are trying to do that, then it's getting harder and harder to work as a remote dispatcher, especially if you're abroad. Even if you're here in the United States, the AT board or load board will not give you an account unless an owner operator gives you an access to their account. So that's going to be hard, especially if you're overseas. That's going to be even harder, not just because of the AT load board, but because of like Highway and RMIS and other websites and other broker load boards. Actually, they will not, if they notice that your IP address is not from here, they will not give you access, and some of them will not even work with VPN. So it's very hard to start because of that. There are no requirements per se that you have to have. Like it used to be like 2 years ago when I was making these videos. It used to be like you have to know English, you have to have computer, internet, phone, access to a load board. But right now, none of that matters because they're blocking your access from here unless you get very creative. In order how like you have to know your way around the technology and go through many loops. With us, we have some people that are working from overseas, and for them, even with us, it's just like some things I have to do here on my end in order for everyone to function. So ultimately, you have to have someone here. Next question, Cattleman. What does a carrier owner operator have to do in today's market to be successful, in your opinion? That's a good question that maybe requires a video for that question alone. To be successful, well, I guess it depends. If you are brand new to the business, the answer would probably be different. If you're brand new to trucking, to being an owner operator, if you have a brand new authority, or if you are established, it would be a different kind of answer. So if you're brand new, if you're just starting, you just bought your truck, or maybe you're getting your authority as well, and that's also a different question. If you have authority or no. If you have the authority, that's what I was saying at the beginning of this stream, then you would have to make peace with the fact that you're going to be able only to work with a couple of brokers in the beginning and just do whatever they can offer you, not complain much, not like have that goal in your mind to make it through first 6 months or so, or maybe even a year. Hope that the markets are going to improve and try to minimize your costs. So if you're brand new authority, if you're new owner operator, it would be much easier because you're most likely going to be leased on to another company with your truck, and they have everything established. Make sure that company has good safety record. That's really important. Because especially in these markets, if you don't have a good safety record with FMCSA, and like the out of service rate is low, and the SMS scores are good, then that carrier will be able to work with more brokers and get more business, even with shippers. So that's good, right? You're not gonna be not gonna be getting pulled in at way stations as much because of that fact. And also make sure that the dispatching team is is communicative and honest, and that's valuing you as an owner operator, as a driver. If you go somewhere that where they just think of you as a number, and they treat you like dirt, and that's not gonna work. You have to have a mutual relationship, like as a partner. Like we treat our owner operators as partners, and we value their opinion, and we'll do what they want, but we will also always advise them. Like if we see that the markets are not that great in that area, we will tell them, just so you know, if you want to go there, sure, we'll send you, but from there it's not gonna be that easy. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Okay. So that's one thing. And the next thing with owner operators is that it's best if you can find an affordable truck. Nothing for like $200,000, even $100,000. That's gonna be like, if you have a payment, it's gonna be way too much. It's gonna be hard for you to make that payment. So if you can do cash, if you can do an older truck, that would be ideal. But then if you get an old truck that's like $10,000, then you can expect that truck to be breaking down constantly, and then you're not gonna be making money. Not just because of the repairs, because like even if you're handy, you can do most of those repairs yourself. Then there's going to be the fact that you're going to be sitting and missing a lot of time, and missing a lot of opportunities, and you still have to pay for the insurance, for the truck, for the trailer, all of your bills, but the truck is sitting. So if you get an old truck, a beat up truck, in my opinion, something around 500,000 miles is okay to start. And right now you can get that kind of truck for like $40,000 to $50,000. And just be constant. If you're an owner operator, you want to make money, just be constant. Don't sit a lot at home. If you have to get home, then get home for a couple of days. But if you work 2-3 weeks, and then you stay home for like a week or 10 days, then it's gonna eat it up, right? It's not like you have to be consistent, right? Even if you're home every weekend, if you work 5 days a week, you have to be consistent, and then with time, the money will add up. Okay. So next question: is it right that rates are so low and Okay, let me see. Is it right? Is it right that rates are so low and market is low nowadays? Yes, it's right. Okay, let me see. How overseas dispatchers survive? I don't know. Like I wouldn't like I'm not overseas, right? I'm in United States, and I really don't know how to survive. I really don't know. Like if you're established, you have all the accounts and everything, just make sure that you don't lose any of that. You don't lose access to the AT board. Don't do any things that could endanger your access to certain things. Okay, but if you're brand new, it's not a matter of surviving. It's a matter of if you can even start. So if you're brand new, if you're thinking about starting, I keep saying that I wouldn't advise that, especially if you're abroad. I think a video to both brand new and established would be great. I got my 99 Classic being refurbished at the moment. She's almost ready. If your truck is in good shape, even if it's a 1999 truck, and those classics are really great, as long as it looks okay when you're on the road, as long as it doesn't look like it's beat up, rusted through with holes. Like when you go on the road, and you're going to be a magnet for these weigh stations if your truck is beat up. But if it's in good shape, then they're not going to care about that. But with an older truck, I understand that drivers will say, okay, well, I got a new and I got an overhaul on my engine, new transmission, stuff like that, right? Okay, yeah, that's fine, but there are thousands of other parts that could go wrong, and that and they're old. So you gotta make sure that you're on top of your maintenance. Like you have to that truck. You have to go out every morning or every weekend and look hard for stuff that can break, and make sure to prevent any stuff, because like if you're on the road, right, it's going to be harder to fix, it's going to be more expensive, you're going to lose time with the load on you. So make sure before you go on the road that you fix anything that looks suspicious to you in an older truck. But older truck, like $10,000-$20,000 with cash, because no bank will finance an old truck like that. If you can buy with cash, then that's a really good investment. You don't have a payment. You can survive. You don't, like, even if you have to sit, you don't have to make that payment, right? But the only thing that I'm worried is the constant breakdowns with those trucks, because I have seen it. I had owner operators here. I had my own trucks. Like my first trucks that I bought were Peterbilt's 387s. They were back then around $20,000 or so, like 18, 19, something like that. We had a few of them. Then they had a cat engine, and those engines were really good. We did even an overhaul on one of those engines, but they do use a lot of like the fuel consumption is bad. But they're good engines, good trucks. And they had around like 800,000 to 1 million miles. And those were our first trucks that we bought. And they served well. Like I said, we had to do an overhaul on one of them. But it was constant repairs, like with an older truck like that. And I've seen other owner operators who come here and they have an older truck. A lot of those trucks break down often, right? The maintenance is cheaper, the parts are cheaper. Some of that you can work yourself if you're handy, but still the fact that you have to pay for those parts and sit and wait and miss working, it could make you go bankrupt, right? So you gotta make sure that you're on top of the game with an older truck. Hello, Ulrich. Nice to see you. What's the role of AI in truck dispatching? Another good question. We see AI. I was just actually talking to Emro yesterday. He was building something for us, like just testing some stuff out because he likes to mess with that kind of stuff. I was just talking to him yesterday, like with this AI revolution, like everyone is talking about it, and to me, it's just like, I don't know. I don't get the hype. I don't get the fear and all of that. We see it in, like, when we call brokers. We see people trying to build a TMS software or similar software like that with AI. And then when they present it to you, it sounds revolutionary. It's all great. It will do everything for you. But then when you start using it, you realize, well, okay, it does help, but it's not really a game changer. It's really not going to take away my job or anyone else. It's just going to help us out. It is limited, of course, but with AI in dispatching, what can you do, right? Some brokers have their phones answered by AI, but you still have to talk to a real person to book that load, and it's still not like it makes me angry. Like the other day, I was streaming live. I think it was 2 days ago. And then there is this AI, and you can tell that it's AI, but they are trying to hide it, like the AI that speaks to you, the person or the avatar, whatever you want to call it. They try so hard to make it sound real, like with arms and like sounds that they're doing, like typing or background noises, like people are talking in the background, and then you think that this is a real person. They're trying to mask, and that's what angers me. because I know it's AI. Just make it sound like an AI. Okay, and introduce yourself and say, "Hello, this is an AI answering system," right? That, to me, in my opinion, that's honest, that's straightforward, and then I don't have a problem with that. But if you try to fool me, you think I'm stupid, and you want to make it sound like you're a real person, but you're not, and that's what that I don't like. And AI in dispatching, like, what's it gonna do? Like, is it gonna troubleshoot problems? If the driver has a problem on the road, they need a pickup number, the truck breaks down, the load was canceled, something like that. There are millions of things that could go wrong, and that's what's a dispatcher's job, to solve that. Even like I've seen some softwares, and they are on YouTube. There are some channels and some people that try to. They're advertising like a Google extension or something like that that will sort to best loads and suggest the best paying loads. I can do that myself, right? I can do all of that myself. It could help, right? It does help, but for the price and the rate that they want you to pay for that, to use that software, I don't think it's worth it, right? Okay, let's see. What's the next question? Are the rates better in winter or summer? It really doesn't matter right now. When the markets are bad, it really doesn't matter. It's all the same. If the markets are normal, then usually the freight is slower in winter, and therefore it does pay worse, right, in winter. And then the season starts, like reefer season starts, and then flatbed season, open deck, it starts, and then naturally all rates with dry vans will go up as well. But right now, because the markets are bad, it really doesn't matter. Only sometimes if you have a big snowstorm somewhere, maybe they can increase the rates for a day or two, and then you can name your rate. But then they're going to make you suffer the next week. Like, they're going to be like, hey, well, we gave you all our money last week. Now you're going to be, driving for us for free, right? The brokers will make you do that, or the shippers, or their customers, whoever decides the pricing. Cattleman, yes, sir, everything is brand new with cash on reserve for a rebuild. There you go. Paying all the upfront costs to reduce the probabilities of breaking down often before I leave my company job. Yes, sir. So that's another thing that I wanted eventually to talk about. Maybe this is an opportunity to talk about that, about the cash reserve for a new owner operator, especially if you have an older truck like that. You must have a cash reserve. Excuse me. You have to have some money saved up before you go. You can't send your truck or drive your truck, and I've seen it many times. Someone goes out, even as an owner operator, they go out, and their first load or the first week the truck breaks down, and they don't have money to pay for it, right? Don't do that. Don't be that person. You can't afford it unless you have access to some kind of cash. Even if you must do a credit card with available balance, which I strongly discourage, but it's better than nothing, right? At least like $5,000 to $10,000. You have to have at least that before you go out. If you don't have that and you go out, like, it's Murphy's law, right? If it can go wrong, it will go wrong, right? What's the probability that this is going to happen? There's a big chance. So you have to have money. You can't, don't spend your, like, you have some cash and you want to buy a truck. Okay, cool. That I salute you. That's really great. But don't spend all of that money on that truck, because you will have to register the truck, pay for the highway tax, do the DOT inspection, and when they do the federal DOT inspection, like your mechanic, they might find something wrong, right? So you need like $2,500 just to register a truck, including the highway tax, for the whole year. and then you need to have some money saved up for the potential repairs, right? So if you have cash, you want to buy a truck, and let's say you have $50,000 in cash, save $10,000. Save at least, like, put them aside for anything that might happen, and then have that peace of mind. And if you happen to spend it soon because something broke down, make sure you put the money back in that account, just so you can always have that money available for you. This is not your money, right? This is not your money. This is the company's money, and you're gonna be using that as a safety net, because you don't want to be constantly driving on the road and then listening to every sound on your truck and praying that this is not something that's gonna break down and that's gonna put you out of service and make you go bankrupt, right? So Cattleman, I like that. Pozdrav, Aleksandre. Okay, how can we book Amazon hook and drop and hook loads? Well, you can go to Amazon load board. Now, it's called Relay, and I did make a video about that. Hitesh Gaira, it was done recently, that video. You can go on my back on my channel, go to videos, and then you can find a video that where I talk about Amazon Relay loads. What do you need to become a dispatcher? I did speak about that, Abdullah. If you want to look later at the beginning of the video or throughout the video, I did speak about becoming a dispatcher. What role will low gas price under Trump have on the market rates? Okay, so do you think that the gas prices or the diesel prices for trucks will go down? Well, even if they go down, if they go down, it's that's another excuse for brokers to lower their rates in these bad markets, and even in good markets. That's another excuse for them to lower the rates. Now, if the diesel prices go up, they're not gonna increase their rates. Maybe eventually, maybe when dispatchers and truckers start asking, but it doesn't happen usually immediately. It will happen in like a month or two. If the fuel prices increase, if they go down, I don't, like I said, nothing may happen, but that could be another excuse for another rate cut for the brokers. So sure, I hope that the prices go down. It's going to be easier for everyone. It's going to be less money, but it might not give you leverage when negotiating for loads, because the brokers might just say, hey, like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, now you can make the same money with the lower diesel prices. So if they go down, but honestly, I really don't think they're gonna go down. I was just listening this morning on news about the tariffs. The tariffs are starting soon, and there is talk about aluminum and copper. Like, it's crazy. So we don't know what. Like, I don't think that's gonna lower the gas prices at all. How much can you make as an owner-operator taking routes from Chicago to Georgia, Florida routes with current loads? Just an estimate weekly income would be great. Okay. Well, you can look. I don't know if you have access to DAT load board. We can look right now at DAT load board, and just to show you live what the rates are. But if you go from Chicago to Georgia, Florida, like if you go to Atlanta, you will get a decent rate. If you go to Southern Georgia as well, especially if you go to Florida, you can get a better rate. But they're not paying. Man, this shirt is like, I don't know what's going on. Something is bothering me here. Florida used to pay a lot better. We actually had a couple of trucks in last 2 2 weeks or so in Chicago area, and we were trying to get them to Florida because that's where they live. And we were expecting a really good paying load because from Florida, when they first started, you know how it goes. You have to go either empty or get a cheap load to Georgia. So we were trying to find them a good load, but they were not paying. Like, they were paying $2 per mile. We did manage to find okay loads for them, but still not as much as it used to be. Not even close to what it used to be to go to Florida from anywhere. But then especially like Wisconsin and that Chicagoland area traditionally tend to pay well, no matter where you go. But to Florida, it wasn't paying that much. But now, from there to go back to Chicago, oh man, I don't know like why there would be a reason for you to go there, specifically there, and come back. An estimated weekly income would be great. Well, let's look at the rates. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna change this here to DAT load board. Okay, let's look at the rates. So let's see. So you're in Chicago, and we're gonna go Florida and Georgia. Okay, Florida and Georgia. We're gonna do 100-mile radius. I'm assuming you're asking about dry van, so we're gonna do dry van, and that's for today. Let's do full only, and let's see what the highest rate is. Okay, so see, like, this is Wisconsin. With the deadhead, it's $2.15 a mile. Okay, so nothing great really. And these are the highest paying loads, right? Now 3,400, 3,229. This is all to Florida. Okay, Georgia 2,000 from and same thing again from Wisconsin. Look at this one, $1.80 for loaded miles. So yeah, around 230. That's like the highest, except for these loads. But there must be something here. Let's see. There must be something here. Something must be off. That's the highest rate. Okay, but that's the highest rate. What's the average rate? You can also go to tools and then quick rate lookup. So if you go to Chicago, come on. And then we'll go to Atlanta for van. So the average is 251, 15-day average. So 250, okay? That's to Atlanta. Now let's go. I have to refresh this. This doesn't work well unless you refresh it. Okay, so let's do Chicago to Miami. Florida, van, search, 247. So 250, like it's even less. The average is even less to go to Miami, which is crazy. Okay, let's go. So 250 a mile. Let's go. Let's do it the other way around. So if we go from Miami to Chicago, search. So that's dollar a mile, $1.06 a mile. Okay. What about remember that $2.50 and dollar. Okay. What about Atlanta? Atlanta to Chicago. $1.35. So it's a bit better. So let's say you go to. So I wouldn't go to Florida. Okay. You go to Atlanta, Chicago. You do Atlanta, Chicago. So if we go to maps, we do Chicago to Atlanta. How many miles do we have? Like 800 maybe? 716. Okay, 716. And you go back. That's 1,400 miles. Okay, 1,400 miles, and you can do that 2.5 days. So technically, you could maybe do 2 of these trips a week, right? If you're a strong driver and the loads align and you don't have trouble anywhere. So technically, you can do it like we have the weekend as well, right? So if we go down there, 716 times 250, that's $1,800, okay, and go back for $1.30, and that's gonna be tough to find. Even the $1.30, it's gonna be tough to find. I'll tell you that. So 930, right? 18 plus 930, 27, right? Plus 927. So 27, two round trips, 5,400, right? So that there you go, like between 5 and 6,000 in gross to do these two of these round trips. Okay. Best. Okay. What? How can we improve? I'm gonna go back to my front camera. How can we improve our dispatch service? Like as far as the loads go, you can't change anything, right? You can always try to negotiate for more, for better prices, but it's going to be hard because most brokers nowadays will not give you more money. Even if they do, it's not going to be much. Some of them might get angry if you ask for like 20 or 30% more of the posted rate. So if you ask them like $400 or $500 more, they might just hang up on you, get mad, or get offensive or defensive. But it's what it is, right? But how can you compete with others? Well, be on time, be available, be communicative, and be understandable. Don't fight with drivers. And I'm not saying like fight in a sense like like I don't mean anything bad, but like don't. If they ask you to go to a certain area, don't be like, oh man, bro, there is nothing go there. Don't go there. Why would you go there? No, like just listen to them and explain to them. Okay, there may be a reason why they want to go there. Just tell them, hey, like we can get you there, but from there, it's not gonna be that easy. You're gonna have to settle for a lower rate or something like that. But then work with them, listen to their needs, and try to respect it. But then also respectfully explain to them what do you think is the best thing to do, but don't push it, right? Like if you have to explain it 3 or 4 times to an owner operator that like a certain area is better, and they still want to go there, then that's fine, right? Like there must be a reason why they want to do it. Like if they don't listen to you when you explain it to them 2 or 3 times, that means that they have their mind set. Okay, well then you just tell them, hey, well, okay, I'll get you there. That's not a problem. But just so you know, from there, it's not going to be that great. And they're probably aware of that fact, and they're going to respect you for that. And this is just like an instance. It's just a small example of that communication, right? Don't try to fight them. Listen to them. They want to go there. Okay, that's fine. And maybe they're going to be okay with that. If they're okay with those loads, if they're okay with you, then that's a success for you, right? Because you're on percentage. For you, that percentage, it doesn't, it doesn't change much whether the owner operator makes 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 dollars a week. It doesn't make much difference to you. For them, it does, and then you have to have their satisfaction. Like they have to be satisfied with your services. Next thing, I do cold calls for dispatch companies. I have all the basic knowledge about load boards, any other things, but what's the main skill? Yeah, I do have a lot of videos, Abdullah, about that. So you can take a look at those videos, right? These are all general questions that I don't like. It takes a long time to talk about those questions. So if we have a specific question, like a specific situation or something like that, I would appreciate that. But for these general questions, like what's a good skill, how do I become better, then I do have a lot of videos about that. Is 5 week doable with Georgia Florida rates? Yeah, like as I explained that, you probably saw that. It's doable, but then you're gonna be running a lot, right? In the example that I showed you, it's gonna be like 3,000 miles, and everything has to align. And like I said, there must be a reason why you want to do these routes specifically. But if you go to Florida, you're not gonna be able to do 2 round trips in a week, right? If you go to Atlanta, maybe you can do those. But like, what about Chattanooga, right? Like, it's right there. It's on the way. Nashville, right? Memphis, Charlotte. I don't know. Like from North Carolina, so it's not going to be that great. But the deeper you go south, the more time you're going to spend, the more time you're going to lose for that week, and the less money is your backhaul is going to be. Like, the deeper you go into the south, if you go to Florida, then you will have to do maybe 3 trips. You cannot do 4 trips if you want to be home on the weekend, right? If you want to run over the weekend, that's a different story. Then you could maybe throw in a couple of other loads here. But if you want to be home every weekend, then that's going to be tough doing those lanes. Best market for box trucks. I really don't work with box trucks. I don't know much about box trucks, so I really could not answer that question. But I can tell you that there is no good market for box trucks right now. Anywhere you go, it's going to be bad. I do see some loads on the East Coast, like regional loads for box trucks, but everything else, I don't know if it's even worth it. I tell everyone, if you want to do a box truck, best thing is to find something local. With box trucks, appliance delivery, furniture delivery, something like that, right? But then that involves a lot of heavy and physical work, and some people cannot do it, some people will not do it. But doing over the road with a box truck, maybe Expedite, try to lease on to one of those companies like Panther. I don't know if they're still even in business. Who else was there that was doing Expedite? I can't remember. Like I said, I don't know much about box trucks. West Coast rates have really gone down. Yes, they have. I do agree. Thank you for the detailed explanation. Appreciate it. No problem. Pozdrav iz Srbije. Pozdrav i vama. Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and even California are no-go zones for now. Yeah. And even, well, Colorado has never been a go zone, especially now. But Colorado, even in good markets, you're not going to be able to get anything from there. I mean, you will, but for like 80 cents per mile. But Utah, Nevada, California, I guess it's not that bad. But like, considering the fact that you have to do, like, if you wanna get a good load, you're gonna have to go to like south maybe from California, like those southern states or Midwest, something like that. Then the rate per mile is not there, right? And then if you drive like 1,500 or 2,000 miles, then it's just gonna eat your profits, because it's gonna be hard to get anything over $2 per mile from there, even to there. Should I stick to Ohio, Kentucky routes? I got some Atlanta, Florida routes, which is why I was curious. Thank you for the knowledge. Should I stick to Ohio, Kentucky? Well, Ohio is not doing that great right now. Kentucky is okay. Like I said, let's look at the map. So you're in Chicago, okay? For you, I'm going to draw a circle here, okay? So for you in Chicago, in my opinion, anything that's, well, Minneapolis used to be good, but right now it's so-so, but I'll include it anyway. So you're in Chicago. Here's a circle for you. Like Minneapolis, Des Moines, Kansas City, to Memphis, including St. Louis, including parts of Tennessee and Kentucky, and Indiana, and maybe like Cincinnati area, Dayton, maybe Toledo, probably not. So this here for you, if you want to do these shorter loads, if you want to do better rate per mile, then this would be an area for you. But you're gonna have to do a lot of shorter loads, and they're not gonna be paying that much in general. The rate per mile would be better, but you're gonna have to settle with a lot of $700, $800, $900, maybe $1,000 loads, and then you're gonna have to do like 5 or 6 of them in order to, you're gonna have to run, right? So if you want to do that, it's doable. You're gonna use less fuel, but you're gonna be loading and unloading every day, and your dispatcher will have a lot more work if you're gonna do that. Or you can mix it up. Like we said, if you said I'm going to Atlanta, you try to get a really good load, like 700-800 miles down there. So that's like a day and a half or 2-day trip. So you go down there for good money, and then from there you try to get something shorter to like Memphis here or Nashville, and then start working on those shorter loads. Like just mix it up. As long as you have one good load in that week, and it would be perfect if this was the first load of the week. Let me go back here. I'm still trying to learn this new software front camera. Okay. As long as you have that one good load, and then everything else will just add up. So I think you could do okay. Yes. Just trying to answer these messages. Okay. Now let's go to the channel. If you have more questions, you can ask them here. What is the best time to call truckers in the USA? If you ask a trucker, they're gonna tell you never is a good time, because like the truck drivers are getting fed up with those phone calls. I have my own authority, and I get dispatcher calls every day and offer me their dispatching services, and I must say it's getting annoying. And same thing for these truckers. Like if you can be creative and try to find an owner operator in a different way, it would be better. But if you're asking for an answer for that, I think like in the afternoon would be the best time to call owner operators. Thanks for the knowledge you offer for free. Don't give up on. No problem. This is not. I wouldn't call this knowledge. I would just call it experience, because like when you work with this every day, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning as well, even after so many years. I would just call this experience, because like it's a trial and error, right? You do something wrong, and you notice that it doesn't work out, and then you try something else, and that does work out. Then you're like, okay, well, now I know what to do. Now I can share this with others. But then keep in mind, like these market rates and these routes, it changes, right? It always changes. So you always have to follow. And like I said, like Chicago and Wisconsin, that used to be our go-to area, especially on a Friday. You would want to position your truck there on a Friday, and then get a long over the weekend load with good paying money. So the driver can actually make some money. That's that weekend load. That's when they make the money, right? Because when you are an owner operator, or even if you have a company truck, the first half of the week, or like the first third of the week, is like you use that money to cover your expenses, right? That will cover your fuel, your payments, your taxes, maintenance, everything you have on that truck, insurance, right? But then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when you book those loads, then that will be actually the money that you make, because try it, right? If you are a driver, you know it. If you're an owner operator, you have your own truck, or You go out there, you start on Monday, and you come back home on Wednesday, and you make, like couple of $1,000, $2,000-$3,000 in gross. You will notice that like everything that you made went towards the fuel, the insurance, the payments. Like you're not gonna get like maybe $400-$500, maybe 6-7, I don't know. But then when you continue working, then that's the money you're making. So when you're in a good area on a Friday and you're a driver, then that's your money maker. That's when you want to be in good area. You don't want to be in Florida on a Friday, or in Colorado, or even Georgia, or on East Coast. You don't want to be there on Friday. On a Friday, if you're planning to work over the weekend, you want to be in a good area. And Chicago, Northern Illinois, and Wisconsin, even Minneapolis, maybe even Iowa, like parts of Iowa, that used to be our go-to area for a Friday. But now that doesn't even matter anymore. Like it doesn't even matter. So like you always have to adjust. Many truckers you say you guys are a scammer. How can a dispatcher scam? Well, it's not. There is a lot more to that, and this is a hard topic, especially for me because I am an immigrant, and people know that the minute I open up my mouth, they know that I'm not from here, and it's harder to gain trust with someone if you don't speak in the same way that they speak, right? Now, my accent, I've been here for 24 years. My accent is closer to the American accent than an accent from Asia, right? Or parts of Asia, or certain parts of Asia where the most dispatchers right now are from, right? And when they hear that accent, they automatically think like, okay, like these guys are from somewhere abroad and they just want to scam me, right? No matter if you're in trucking, there are a lot of YouTube videos about scammers, and people also talk between themselves. And a lot of scammers are not from United States. Therefore, they don't have the American accent. And therefore, people are, people have stereotypes, people are judging, people are racist, like you name it. So it's tough. It's tough, especially if you, and it's like, how do you get rid of your accent? You can't. Like I'm here, but I can't. Like this is what I was born with. Like my throat and my lungs are set up that way. That's like when I started speaking. That's how I was taught. That's how I picked it up, and that's the way I speak now. I can't change it. But especially for someone else that's from a much more different area, you can't just tell them, "Hey, get rid of your accent." You can't. It's hard. So that's why they think they don't trust you, right? And that's why I'm saying this cold calling is not working, in my opinion, that much anymore. Like maybe to a certain extent, in no matter what you do, right now people concentrate on social media, on email, and if you can prove to someone that you're real, if you can, no matter what you do, if you can show them your work somewhere, if you can show them your website, your social media accounts, you have followers, you have subscribers, you have content, everything looks legit, then they might trust you a little bit more. But if I see a phone number on my phone that says possible scam on the bottom, or I see a phone number that has an area code from United States, but then obviously a person is from somewhere else, and that person tells me that their name is James or Ronald or like a typical American name, or John Smith, like you're starting this conversation with a lie, right? Like why not just tell them, hey, I am from, like, you don't have, that doesn't have to be your opening line, but like your name is not James, right? So you have to work on that. And I keep telling that to everyone, but people just don't listen. Fuzzy Sakamoto, how you doing? I am doing good. Let me go to what you even talking about. I'm talking about accents. Okay, let's go to some YouTube comments here. Here we go. Okay, this is like this is one day ago. How do you set up one-click email? This is go to loadconnect.com. Loadconnect.com. That's a Google extension that you can get. It does cost money, but you can use that for faster email sending and other things as well. Can you advise on how to onboard owner-operators, small trucking companies as a sole dispatcher? I do have videos about that. Empty trailers have disappeared. What could be the reason? We noticed that as well. That power-only loads are not there anymore as they used to be. I mean, of course, nothing is as it used to be, but power-only loads are disappearing, and then especially the trailer load-outs, like load-out trailers. That's the right word. And then most of the companies that do load-out trailers are bad. Like I guess somehow that's their way to get in the brokerage. To do the loadout trailers, and then you look at that broker that's trying to give you that power only loadout trailer. You look at their ratings, their MC numbers. They're usually on do not buy lists with factoring companies. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, they have disappeared. It's probably due to the markets, but it's very hard to find empty trailers right now. I'm gonna answer this just to see who this is. Hello? Enis. Dobre, kak si ti? Radi. Nema problema. Ajde, živio. Okay. Let's see. I'll be right back. I'm just answering my text messages. Okay, cool. Okay, how do you find truck drivers? Like I said, I do have videos about that. Why is nobody explaining how to get the inspections done and update your carrier so you can improve your score? Inspections. Like if so this video was about carrier assure, and a lot of these carrier vetting companies are asking for inspections, and people will mix them up, right? There are two kinds of inspections. One is the federally mandated and see, like, that's the accent and required inspection, and they also call it federal FHWA, I think, something like that. But most people will just say DOT inspection, right? And this is the an annual inspection that you have to do every year by law, and your mechanic does it, right? And the mechanic has to be certified in order to do that. So that's the one kind of inspection. And another kind of inspection is the real DOT inspection, like the DOT does inspect you, the state police on a weigh station, or if they pull you over and they inspect your truck, and they have 3 levels of those inspections. And then you will get a paper that you completed the inspection, that you passed, or if there are any violations or out of service or something like that. And that goes on your scores with the FMCSA. And these carrier vetting companies are looking for those inspections because those will be on your what's the name company information, like with the FMCSA. I can't remember the name. So how can you get those inspections done? Well, in most states, you can't just go in a weigh station and tell them, hey, can you guys do an inspection on my truck? Because like in Michigan here, they have to have a cause to pull you over and do an inspection. They cannot just without any reason do it. And that's what a state police officer told me personally. I called them. I called the state police post. I think it was in around in Howell, Michigan, because that's where they have a weigh station that we pass every day. And I asked them, hey, we don't have any inspections. That was like 3 years ago. We don't have any inspections on our record. Brokers are asking for that. They don't want to give us a load, because at that time I had 5 trucks on the authority and we had no inspections in a year. So how can you do that? Well, in New York, one of the drivers asked them to do it, and they did it. So in some states, you can go in and ask them how to get those inspections done. Yeah, that's how you go. That's how you do it. You go in and ask. You don't do anything stupid or on purpose in order for them to pull you over, because that's just gonna, put you in more trouble. You want to ask them, right? You can ask. It doesn't hurt. How do you find the trucks? Can you just find any random truck to see if they're interested in pickup? I don't really understand this question. I mean, I kind of understand, but it's not like it. He could be asking about many things. What additional app do you use that was integrated on DAT? I use Load Connect. Like I said, loadconnect.com. That's the extension that we use. If the truck and DOT numbers are under my brother's name, but I'm the driver, does Amazon really accept this? Yes. If you're doing Amazon loads, the carrier, and this is the video I was talking about when you guys were asking about Amazon load boards. This is the video. It's called Amazon Relay Explained. Right, here's the video right here on the channel. So the carrier has to register with Amazon Relay, but then each driver also has to register. And we did have one driver that was not accepted. Like, they didn't want to accept this driver. I don't know why. They don't tell you why, but the driver has to take a picture of their CDL, and I think even their own picture, and put in the information in the app. And then you have to wait for Amazon Relay to accept you as a driver. And it doesn't matter whose company under this is. Like, you're a driver, you're an owner operator. You have the truck signs on your truck, so that's fine. But it's ultimately up to them to accept you as a driver. I think his question was how to find new carriers. Well, yeah, like I said, I have 3 or 4 videos. Like, one of them is like an hour long about owner operators and carriers. So if anyone is interested, I can show you right now. I'm gonna go to the channel and then bring it here. I think you can see this. Yeah. So if you go to the channel and you go to videos, and there is a little search button here, right? Not this one up here. It's this one right here. So you just type in owner operator or carrier. Let's do carrier. And then press enter. How to fill a broker carrier packet, terminology, ultimate guide. Like, this is the playlist. Like, here, this is the playlist for a new independent dispatcher. There are a lot of videos on the channel. Okay, let's go back to questions. Can you show Canadian loads? I was actually doing a live stream. Is it worth getting your own LLC and MC number as a dispatcher? You cannot. I also spoke about that. I have videos about that as well on the channel. You cannot get an MC number as a dispatcher, and you don't need to. So you don't have to have it. You can't use it even if you had it, and at the end you cannot even have the MC number as a dispatcher. You have to, in order to have an MC number, you have to be in the United States, have a residence in United States, and have a truck under your carrier authority, under your insurance policy. You cannot have an MC number without that. So this was a question about DAT load board. Hi, I'm new in the business. I'm trying to set up everything. I'm contacting the platform to obtain loads, probably meaning DAT load board. But they don't work with dispatchers anymore. They will you will have to use a carrier account. Okay. Can you tell me is it easy to get a US phone number? Yeah, it's very easy. There are a lot of applications that will let you do that. Truck stop, I don't use truck stop because truck stop is just like, I mean, they have almost the same loads as DAT load board, and they have even less loads. So DAT load board has more loads. Some people will argue that truck stop has better flatbed loads. I'm not sure about that. We don't deal much with flatbeds. We have one flatbed right now out of many other drive-in trucks. So we don't deal, like, we are not even like a third of our trucks are flatbed. So we don't need truck stop. The interface, I don't like it. I tried using it. I had a code for 30 days free because I used truck stop a long time ago. We used it as a backup option when the DAT load board was down. If we couldn't find any loads on DAT board, we would go to a truck stop. But that was many, many years ago. So now with the new interface and all of that, I just didn't like that. And then also the fact that almost all loads are same, right? So to me, it doesn't make, and they're not like back then when DAT load board was, we were paying like $150 or like $130 a month for DAT load board. Truck stop was $50 back then. So I could justify that charge. But now truck stop is almost, it costs the same as DAT load board. So why would you want to pay $200 per month per seat for a software that basically does the same thing? Okay. I'm gonna answer this question here in our chat. Yes. Okay. Let's go back. Ćao, Enis, kako ide buraz? Trebao ti dispatcher, tebe sam se naučio. Thank you, Dragan. We don't right now. We have few dispatchers here, and we all know each other, and we really don't need anyone right now. Thanks for the offer. You can send me an email, Dragan, and if down the road, if we need someone, I can reach out to you. You never know. So just send me an email. The email is in the description of this video. We have been streaming for 1 hour. I'm gonna do maybe another question or so. We have 26 people watching, which is really cool. When we do a day in the life of a truck dispatcher, it's usually around 30 people at the same time, which is really good in my opinion. So now we have 26 people watching. That's cool. Let's do a couple of more, and then if you have more questions, you can ask them here. But I'll do couple more questions, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, what's this? Why waste own life for peanuts? Okay, so this video was about trucking in 2025. Being away from home more than 70% of own life. No, thank you. Paid driver salary of at least 75 annually, and offer no less than 50% of the year home time for O2. So otherwise, you can go and drive your own trucks. Yeah, well, I used to drive trucks for 10 years when the pay was way less than it's right now. And then even like last year, I drove for a few months. So yeah, I drive. It's not like I don't drive, but it's a life choice, right? Being a driver, like people want to do it. People want to do it because of the money they can make, of the freedom. They can travel the country. They can see the country. They don't want to work in an office. They don't want to work on construction or in a factory. So yeah, it's sometimes it's a choice. Sometimes people get a good offer, and some people they don't have any degrees or like higher education, and trucking for them may be a way to make more money. So like no one is forcing anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. And some trucking companies will pay good. I understand, like if you're paid by mile as a company driver and you're sitting a lot, then maybe you're not making, great money, and you cannot justify being away from home for that money. And I totally understand, right? So yeah, you can do something else. But some companies pay well. Some companies will pay by hour, especially if you can find a local job or regional job, or if where you can have overtime. It's just a life choice, right? Some people argue that like construction is bad. I don't want to be outside and in the weather, or I don't want to travel uh, through construction sites. Like some people will not do that. Some people will not work in the office, right? So it's a choice. If the carrier's owner operators have no transparency on the market, it will appear that cheap loads will have a snowball effect of more cheap loads. So in turn, they're waiting it out until better rates are available. At their defense, we can't fault them for wanting to earn a living. So I'm assuming he's talking about transparency with the brokers, with how much the loads are paying. Yes, and the cheap loads will have a snowball effect of more cheap loads. Yes, that is true. I do agree. You can charge more for a Twig, because in this video I was saying how the Twig card will not necessarily make you make more money. It's just a convenience to have. But Kev's Trucking said that you can charge more for Twig, especially if you have to go to a port. Yeah, well, I can see your point. That could happen, but lately, because of the markets, I really don't see that happening with us. Okay, one more question here, and then we'll call it a day. Jake Smith is asking, do you use any freeway camera websites to check the conditions of the road and see traffic? Sometimes I do if the what's the name? The weather is bad, and sometimes I would do that, but not necessarily. A good thing to do is I'm looking here. This is where our I'm gonna try to change. Here we go. I'll show you something. Okay. I'll try to turn this up here. Okay, this is our ELD software, right? And this is where I can see all the trucks, where they are. And then as you can see up here, see it's snowing over there, Canada and Michigan. It's snowing, right? So I can see the weather, where the trucks are, and the weather live. But then also if you go to Google Maps, you see traffic, right? Okay, let's delete this. So you see, did I? Oh, hold on. Okay, here we go. So you see traffic. Like if everything is green, that means that traffic is flowing. Usually in the mornings in the big cities, you will have yellow and red spots. Chris, will you keep going with dispatching after? What do you mean? I don't understand your question. So if you know that you have a big snowstorm or something like that, then you will usually see, like right now, let's see, This is all mostly morning traffic, like rush hour. But you will see yellow and red areas if you have bad traffic during the weather, and then there is no need for you to look at the live cameras. You can just see that. Thank you, greatly appreciate all of your answers. You are welcome, Jake Smith, and thank you everyone for coming in. Chris is asking to start dispatching trucks after I'm done answering questions. Why, Chris? Do you need help? I did have some paperwork to do. Do you need help? Couple for today, one for tomorrow. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, who do you have for today? I'm gonna see. Chris is asking me to help him. Well, not help him. He does not need help, but he's like, okay, if you wanna keep going with dispatching, ooh, local or something worth it. Huh. Okay. Okay. Well, let's take a quick look at local loads for Chris here. I go to DAT load board. He has a guy here in Grand Rapids trying to do something local. Okay, so when I do local loads, I would either post to Michigan. Sometimes you can go to like northern Indiana because it's only 100 miles from South Bend, Indiana, from here, LaPorte, South Bend, Goshen, Elkhart. Not Chicago, because we don't want to go over there. For that would not be considered local for us. But I could post Michigan, or I could post radius from Grand Rapids, Michigan to maybe 200 miles, right? So let's do 200 miles. And then with local loads, you don't want to have a lot of deadhead. Sometimes I would leave this as 100 here for the deadhead, but then you can lower it to 80 or 50 miles deadhead. But let's take a look first, because there are not that many loads anyway. It's 11 loads. Okay, what do we have? What's this? 1300 to, yeah, this is going to Canada, so that's even, yeah, 6 results. Oh yeah, not that great, Chris. Not that great from Michigan. Okay. Okay. Now, for C.H. Robinson tends to have decent local or regional loads for us to this area where we are. I'm going to go to C.H. Robinson and see if they have anything. Sometimes you can get a decent load from them. Okay, send me the code. CH. Okay, code is here. Log in. Okay, I'll bring it here. What do we have? Grand Rapids, van. 58 results for the whole United States. So what if we do another Grand Rapids here? Case. Oh, this is for today and tomorrow. Okay. 1 results. Going to Wisconsin. So this is not going to work. Okay. 100. Let's do 120 mile radius. Nuevo 550. Yeah, these are all cheap. Like this is not worth it. Let's try to bring in Amazon Relay. Let's try to see. But with Amazon Relay, it's probably gonna like the driver will have to register, and I don't know if that's gonna be. But let's take a look at the loads anyway. Okay, so this is Amazon Relay. We'll do Grand Rapids. And then he does have his own trailer. So let's take a look at those loads first. Okay. 0. Okay, sure. Nothing. Okay, how about power only? So power only, we'll do all of them. Okay, 24 results, going to Illinois, Kentucky. What about this one? Lansing. Yeah. Oh, man, $700 to. Oh, and they want you to go to Indianapolis. Nice, for $700. So this is your Amazon Relay, 4 stops. You have Lansing. And then you have another Lansing. And then you have Greenfield, Indiana. And then you come back to Caledonia, Michigan, which is right here in Grand Rapids. All of that for $717. Yeah, nah. So, Chris, I will have to go. I do apologize. I will have to go, but I don't see any loads here. So I would suggest that this guy in Grand Rapids does something else. Seriously, because it's already 10 a.m. and you're going to be looking. You have to like keep refreshing to see something. And I don't know if they're going to pay any money, for something like that. So I would strongly suggest that I don't know why he wants to do local, but I would suggest that he does something else. Okay. Okay, let's see if we have anything. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. This was fun. We had some questions and answers here, and we spoke. If you have any other questions, you can wait for the next live stream or ask them in the video here in the comments, and I'll try to answer them in the next live stream. If you are an owner operator and you're looking for a company to work with, call me. That's my phone number, and I hope your day goes well and you book a lot of loads.